you get this song in the spring of 1966 talking about when a man loves a woman, and this dude is just Percy Sledge is just crooning all to be damned, just like just saying this, y'all don't understand. When the man loves this woman, is it hits you in a place that just reminds you of the times that these songs were created. What's going on, everybody? You're right on time for another ride on the Groove Line with your boy Chris Stevens. We made it to the midpoint of the week. It's Wednesday. Hopefully, you are doing well out there. And we are going back deeper. I think this is the oldest song that we've talked about on this channel. And I know I usually stay in the 70s, 80s, and most of the 90s. But yes, folks, we are going back to 1966 today. And what better way to do that than to talk about the late, great Percy Sledge? And we know what song we're talking about here, the runaway hit, When a Man Loves a Woman. And the song was originally recorded at the famed studios with the Muscle Shoals rhythm section, but it was re-recorded at Nirala Studios in nearby Sheffield. So the way the song is thought to have come about, Percy Sledge was introduced to a guy named Quinn Ivey, who was a songwriter and wanted to get into the music business and auditioned for Percy Sledge's band and wrote the song around that. And they wrote some songs about conversations about, bad breakups and different things of that nature. And so the song was recorded, two different versions of it, three or four actually. And then Rick Hall, who of course ran the Fame Studios at that point in time, was able to get Jerry Wexler, who was running Atlantic Records at the time, on the phone, said, "Yo, we got this song down here that we think is going to be a hit. Do you want to distribute it?" And Jerry heard it and was like, "Okay, but can we get those horns re-recorded?" So apparently the horns were out of tune. So they went back in, recorded some new horns, but apparently in the mix, the old horn lines stayed. So I think you can hear that at the end of the song. You can hear those horns kind of like screeching a little bit at the end of the original When a Man Loves a Woman. So that's what went on the record. But it turned out to be the first number one for the Muscle Shoals rhythm section, went number one R&B and pop in the spring of 1966. So just think about the song itself. He's Percy starts singing, when a man loves a woman, can't keep his mind on nothing else. He'd turn his back on the world for the good thing he's found. If she is mad, he can see it. Turn his back on his best friend if he put her down. Like, these are the times when men really just would do anything for a woman. And I'm not saying men don't do anything for women now, but it's not like it used to be. It's clear that a lot of dudes back then that, were interested in women were interested in women. Like, they would, to their, sometimes to their detriment, but mostly to their benefit, would cross mountains for women. And this is a dude who's talking about, he'll sleep out in the rain if that's the way she says it ought to be. That's the type of stuff that, only a deep love that most folks don't fathom or can't understand, you know, exists. And that song, it just is, it's another one of those songs that just reminds you of the era. It reminds you of, think about 66, early 66. Malcolm X has been gone a year. White people are really starting to get upset with Martin Luther King. People forget that Dr. King was very unpopular at the time of his assassination with the country. Black people love Dr. King. And even some small subsets of black people, like the Panthers or whatever. The Black Panthers started around this time. So 1966 was one of those years in the history of American society that just sort of grabs you because you start to see a change. The innocence had been lost. America's innocence had long been lost. But you get into the later part of the 60s, you get into a more angry, more violent civil rights movement. You get into Vietnam, which is still going on at this point in time. People are losing their sons, brothers, fathers, husbands, cousins, homeboys to a war that the United States could not win. Sound familiar? And you get this song in the spring of 1966 talking about when a man loves a woman, and this dude is just Percy Sledge is just crooning all to be damned, just saying this, y'all don't understand. When the man loves this woman, it hits you in a place that just reminds you of the times that these songs were created in. And a song like that can only come from an era when men and women. I mean, and relationship problems have always been a thing in this country, in the world. Let's not get it twisted and let's not get it tangled. But a song like "When a Man Loves a Woman" just hits you in a place that even though that song came out 15 years before I was born, but I hear it sometimes and it just literally just stops me in my tracks because it's not a very long song. It's about 3 minutes long, maybe, but it still is powerful and forceful enough to remind you of a time like, damn, this is when dudes were really gone over women. And it wasn't a bad thing to be gone over a woman. I mean, nowadays you get into this simp culture, this red pill manosphere BS about, how you shouldn't do anything for a woman, how women aren't worth anything. Our grandfathers would be ashamed of us. Our great grandfathers would be ashamed of us, to be quite honest with you. So just thinking about that and just listening to that song, it takes you to a place where it's like, just a special, special time and a special, special song. If you have not heard "When a Man Loves a Woman," what are you waiting for? Go listen to it. Come back, let us know what you think. But if you do remember "When a Man Loves a Woman," I don't know if we have anybody old enough to remember "When a Man Loves a Woman" subscribing to this channel. Not saying that I don't welcome those that do. I mean, if you're an OG and you tuned in, you were around when "A Man Loves a Woman" was popping, please talk to us. We'd love to hear from you. But if you just listen to that song at any point in your life and it can relate to it, you know how deep it hits. You know how deep it is. And that's going to do it for this ride on the Groove Line. Greatly appreciate y'all as always. Contact information will be in the description below. Don't forget to subscribe and tap that notification bell so you're notified of all the new videos that drop on this channel. And don't forget to like and comment on the videos because as you know by now, your boy talks back in the comments. So thank you guys for riding with me on the Groove Line. And until the next time we ride, may you find the groove or may the groove find you.